All right, welcome back to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. It's Tuesday, August the 20th, 2024, and this is the Attack the Rack daily lineup show with myself, Trent, and Big Mo. Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever, they're back. 2 games over the weekend, Friday and Sunday. Friday night, what a game it was against the Phoenix Mercury. Big Mo, I know you watched that game.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Oh,
Didn't fall asleep.
First of all,
I'm 3 for 3 right now.
okay. I was gonna, I'm glad you brought that up because Trent has Big Mo on the watching the WNBA games, trying to stay awake during them and charting.
I joined him in the tally as well, so I'm involved.
How many games did you watch?
I watched. They played Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
2 quarters on Sunday.
Oh,
Okay.
not bad.
Did you watch any of their game Friday night against the Mercury?
I did not on Friday, no, but I saw the highlights of it.
Okay, so that was a crazy game.
Seemed like it was awesome. Honestly, it seemed like it was pretty sweet.
It was in Big Mo. What did they build the lead up in the first half to almost 30?
I got to 31. Didn't it get to 31 or no?
Wow, really?
And then the Mercury came storming back, and by halftime they had already cut it to what, 16?
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, it's, just you go on a shooting slump and all of a sudden you don't score in 4 or 5 possessions sometimes because you miss a couple open shots, you take a couple bad shots, and all of a sudden, and the Fever are trying to play fast, so they do force some things every once in a while. Which, again, it's amazing that the Mercury have come back against them twice, being down plus 28 to 30.
Yeah, crazy.
0 for 4 on the year, though, right?
Yes.
Well,
they haven't.
0 for 3, but then if you want to include the All-Star game, if you want to include Diana Taurasi, Khalid and Brittany Griner, they're 0-4 against Caitlin Clark if you want to include the All-Star game. But the Fever have beaten the Mercury 3 out of 3 times they've faced each other.
That's pretty good. I think Caitlin's got a little chip on her shoulder when she plays against Taurasi and company. It
does seem that way.
Taurasi had those choice words, so she definitely is not going to let her live that down,
right?
And let her know that was a mistake.
Yeah. Well, she's demonstrating that, and she's come out strong in the first 2 games of the second half of the WNBA season.
Yeah.
And right now she's probably elevated herself, past Rookie of the Year.
I know.
Yeah.
Put me on the big stage, coach. Put me on the big stage.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at what does MVP mean, most valuable player, certainly she is very, very valuable to that team.
Yeah.
Asia Wilson is kind of the clear-cut MVP at this point if you look at stats, but
overall,
if Clark keeps playing like this and puts together the second half of the season, I think she's going to have. I think she's going to be, in that top 3.
Yeah.
If this continues, if she can continue this pace, and I think that Clark does need some other players on her teams to play well. Lexi Hall shot the snot out of the ball, which I think she should play more. I think she defends hard. I don't know if she's not going to shoot 7 for 7 every game, but if she can make 3 of like 6 every game, she should get on the floor a little more. And
is that the girl in the corner that kept hitting threes?
Yeah.
That was on Sunday against the Seattle Storm.
Yeah, she was raining threes.
She was, and they're going to get open shots.
Right.
True.
Kelsey Mitchell. If I watch her play, she takes some awful shots, but she's kind of like that. Hey, if Clark's not going, she kind of brings that offensive spark to him.
Yes.
And she makes a couple of ones you're like, oh,
yeah.
But she had 27 on Sunday, and that's again big. I mean, if Aaliyah Boston isn't scoring or Clark isn't shooting it as well, they need Mitchell to kind of be that that next scorer in line, and she's a little bit more one-on-one, and again, forces of things once in a while, but yeah, I like what I still think they're missing a piece.
Yeah.
Well, they only got a few more days to go out and find somebody.
Let's say Lexi Hull can.
Well, and that could be a piece, right?
But she's only played like that one game out of 30.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
She never plays?
Well, she does, but she doesn't
shoot it that well all the time.
Gotcha.
But hey, to your point too, Big Mo, I mean, every 3 she took was wide open.
Wide open.
And extra pass, the perfect pass, the right pass. When you tend to do those things, the shots tend to go in.
Yeah.
So she hit like 2 or 3 in a row, and then they had another opportunity to get her another one.
And guess who shot it?
The girl pass faked there.
Guess who shot it?
Was it the other point guard?
It was Mitchell, yeah.
Yeah, and she just let it fly. I was like, well, the girl just hit 3.
Once in a while, she just takes these bad ones. You're like, eek. But
yeah. It was like same spot in the corner too. She was right there for the one more, and it was like, oh nah, just let it fly.
Yeah. They do.
Caitlin,
they do really struggle when one of the 3 of Boston, Clark, or Mitchell goes to the bench. That's when the other teams can make a run. So that's where, like Big Mo said, if they can get one more piece, or if Lexi Hull can play play even at like a 60% of how she played on Sunday, maybe that's the piece. But
no, well, they did get one of their post girls back, Damaris Dantis. She was injured the first half. I think hurt herself maybe at the end of last season, or so. I don't know enough about it, but I think she played maybe her first game or second game back, and she could be a piece that kind of gives them another player to count on. So maybe if they don't go trade route, Lexi Hall and this the Dantas girl can maybe contribute a little more.
Yeah. And then at the end of the game on Sunday, there was some fireworks. Well, actually, there was an almost fight in the Mercury game on Friday. And then Sunday,
what were they all mad about at the game Sunday?
Well, Big Mo, you can let me see if I got this right. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit confused. So there was, I don't know,
they didn't sub?
30 seconds left, maybe ish.
Yeah, maybe somewhere, maybe just under a minute or something like that, maybe.
And the Storm were up 16, 17 points.
No, the Fever were.
I mean, the Fever, sorry. And the Storm come out of the timeout, and now they've emptied their bench.
After a timeout?
Yeah, and the Fever are coming on the floor, and they have not emptied their bench, right, Big Mo?
I believe so.
But then the Fever coach saw that.
Yes.
And then she called a timeout right away before any play had ever continued on. And then she emptied her bench as well. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
So and the Storm coach was pissed off that she didn't empty her bench. I don't get it.
I mean, I was watching the game with someone, and they were dumbfounded that it was an issue.
And even and I know
it was the worst part is I haven't seen anything like reports on it or interviews on it. Like,
true,
maybe there is, but I haven't seen, like, usually you see that stuff get posted. You're telling me nobody's asked why this Seattle coach was so, like,
she was out of her mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then one of her assistants was out of their mind. It's like,
if you sub out of a timeout, it's hard. Like, when it's kind of over, like, you're not going to really pay attention to what's going on the other side.
Yeah. And
until you break
pro
out.
Basketball.
True.
Worry about your own team.
Yeah.
Yes, a 17-point win, it's secure, or 17-point lead, you would think is secure under a minute. I get it. But it's 17. It's not like it was 20, 25, 30.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think if you're in the teens, that necessarily means unwritten rule of emptying your bench. I don't think.
No, if I'm one of those other women on the team, or even a guy's game, there's a minute left. less than a minute left. I don't want to go in the game.
Yeah.
I'm not warmed up. I'm not loose. I've been sitting on the bench the whole darn game.
Yeah.
Just let the starters finish. I don't want to go out there.
True. Ask the
So-
kid, hey, you want to go? Nah, I'm good. Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So now I will say I have seen a couple things since. You mentioned we haven't really heard anything since, but I did. Big Mo's got some fans.
Go.
Well, they show an angle now of going into that timeout. Caitlin Clark's walking by the free throw line opposite of her bench, kind of getting the crowd into it.
Yeah.
You can tell she's looking away from the Seattle Storm bench. You can tell she's making her way to her bench. And then all of a sudden, Skylar Diggins comes up and bumps her.
Yeah, she
Then forces
bolted.
her, changes her route to walk almost through the Seattle bench over to her bench for the timeout. Maybe that was some of what Seattle Storm's coach was so pissed off about too. But all Caitlin Clark was doing was throwing her hands up in the air to get the crowd into it. She was walking to her bench. It was not her fault. Skylar Diggins walked right into her and bumped her.
She had to speed up to go get her too. She was clearly behind her, and she had to speed up to go get into her. I think the Storm are upset that there's a different energy in the WNBA, and the competitiveness has now ramped up, and now it's like taken more serious. And Caitlin Clark's going to fire up the crowd at home. Yeah, it's in front of their bench, but
deal with it.
Don't chirp her then. If you're going to start chirping, she's not she won't let it go.
And they just beat the 4th place team in the league.
Yeah.
True.
Let's bring it, baby. Let's bring it.
Yeah. But anyway, I wonder if maybe that more so is what the coach was mad about more so than the subbing thing, because also Skylar Diggins walks up to the confrontation too, and she starts giving her 2 cents to
it's amazing there's nothing about this situation in the media. Like nobody's asked those questions, because that would be the first. If that situation happened in any other game, someone's asking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I haven't. Maybe there is something out there. I have not seen it yet, but I don't have any problem with Skylar speeding up and giving a little shoulder bump. Like that's competitive. Like maybe not appropriate, but you're in the competitive fire. It's all right to have a little, again, like I said, I think when they bring back some of this physicality in both the men's and women's game, I think both games will look a lot better and be a lot more fun to watch.
Agreed. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem then with how she was a baby about it afterwards.
Yeah.
And
again, we don't know. We don't know because nobody seems to ask those questions after the show.
I saw the clip. Caitlin told him to stop crying or whatever.
Yes.
She looked over at the bench. She said, "Stop crying." Yes.
I think there's a lot of what's the word?
Toxicity.
Yes, in that league, and I think there has been for years. And I think that we don't really know a lot about it. And now that the WNBA is becoming more popular, some of that's starting to be exposed. I think a lot of the players don't get along with each other. I've heard, rumors this year of a lot of drama in locker rooms. Obviously, this year the pettiness, the jealousy about Caitlin Clark, it's like,
yeah, it's nuts.
So I think I think it's a pretty toxic league, and I think we're now kind of all learning a little bit about that now, just because now the league has become more popular. There's always all these, little scuffles in the games, which there is in the NBA too. But again, who cares? We're not talking about the NBA. Like if that's one thing that's really driving me crazy is how everything has to be compared. So it's like if you say something about the WNBA, like, like on the game with the Mercury, the 2 guards got into it, Kelsey Mitchell and the girl from the Mercury that looks like Busy Bone. They got into it a little bit. And if you were to say, oh, that was kind of ridiculous, then someone will be like, well, it happens in the NBA too. Who cares? We're not talking about the NBA. We're talking about the WNBA. We're talking about this game and we're talking about this moment in that game. That's it. That's all we're talking about.
Yeah, it bothers me that they try to tear down the people who are trying to making their sport better.
Yeah.
And more entertaining to watch. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just a woman thing in them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they just don't seem very happy for the success of others, where
I know
in the NBA, I feel like most guys support each other. They don't all like each other, obviously, but if a guy goes for 40, they're gonna give him their props.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I think we're gonna continue to just learn a little bit more about it, and hopefully as some of that toxicity is exposed, maybe it'll start to curb and change, and everyone.
Yeah.
I like the fiery. I like the fieriness. I like a little bit of the chirpy, and I know you're talking about some of the others.
I'm not talking about that.
No. But I like some of this physicality. I like a little bit. I always respected everyone I played for the most part, and but I didn't like anybody. I think that's what's missing from the NBA a little bit. Like it's all so buddy.
Right.
Yeah,
we can still be friends off the court, but hey, let's compete hard as nails when they step on the court.
Yeah, I'm referring more to the stuff that you're kind of hearing about that happens amongst each individual team.
Yeah,
in their locker rooms, but I'm not.
And I think that a lot of that just comes again with the, I think that I don't know how much more the league will grow or whatever, but again, they're not so much used to all that. I think it just takes a little more time with how much it grew overnight.
Yeah.
With Caitlin and Reese, and just with all the amount of fans that just all of a sudden it just exploded. So I just don't think everyone was ready for the growth of that league.
Yeah, then you'll get Bukers next year.
Yeah, and
Jesus,
probably Juju Watson shortly, and
there's gonna be a couple that are coming that could add to that.
Yep,
which would be great. Then you can dwindle out like Taurasi and company.
What's that?
Then you can start dwindling out Taurasi and all them. I feel like it starts from the top with the negative energy.
Yeah, she is one of those ones that definitely has kind of a negative aura around her, negative energy, and she did not play very well against Clark in the 3 meetings, and especially actually was one of them she might have been out for actually. But then last Friday night she didn't play well. She looked slow. She had a phenomenal career, but I'm guessing this is probably her last season. I'm not sure, but that would be my guess. But
you see the Angel Reese stat line the other night? 19 to 20. Yeah, but she was 50% from the field.
No, she was 4 for 14, wasn't she?
I saw 50%, but
50% isn't horrible. I think she was 4 out of 14.
And when you don't shoot from outside 6 feet, she just throw it off the backboard and go get it. And
pad the stats however you need to, baby. Pad the stats.
Oh, she's the best at padding stats.
Yeah, me and Big Mo and I talked about that on the podcast Saturday morning. Big Mo, you were kind of comparing her to Dennis Rodman and saying, hey, you liked that, but there is a difference.
Dennis Rodman wasn't shooting the ball. She brings a little bit of an attitude. The numbers are probably skewed a little bit, but I'd still watching her in the first game back after the break. Like she brings a little bit of an attitude that helps her team. Again, the stat stuff I think is like crazy. Like when you talk about double, and I just her team's not very good. I don't think there's a lot of great players around her yet. And she's not the type of player that can probably go out and win you a game like a Caitlin Clark.
She's not going to make her teammates better. She's not going to.
No, but I think she could set the tone to make the atmosphere better, or kind of bring some toughness that can make your team good. But I think they need, she's not going to be able to go out there and score 30 and make her teammates score 20. She's gonna give you what she is. She's going to be 15 and 10 every night because she's stronger and more athletic, and she's got a motor, and she plays hard as heck.
No, for sure. But the point I was going to make is the difference between her and Rodman is that, Rodman wasn't shooting the ball 14 times a game.
No. He was going to get some other people's rebounds, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
He knew his role and he stuck to it and he thrived in it. So
he did thrive.
All right,
best rebounder in the game, best rebounder ever.
Absolutely. And again, if anyone has any info on Big Mo's Dennis Rodman canvases that were robbed from home,
still waiting for that.
Oh wait, dude. All right. Hey, let's move on. Connor Stalions, the former Michigan assistant coach who was let go among last season after about halfway point of the season due to allegations of some illegal scouting, now has a job. He's been hired as the defensive coordinator at a high school here in Michigan, Detroit Mumford. So Connor Stalions, defensive coordinator, Detroit Mumford High School. Trent, you happy for him?
Good for him. Yeah, good for him. Now he can do it legally.
That's true, because in high school you can go and watch games.
Yeah, and I feel like you can recruit too. So I think it's fair game. He can just go do whatever he wants.
I do find it interesting that we still really have, even now with him having this job, we still have not heard him speak. I saw there were some reporters trying to get at him at a practice the other day, and the head coach protected him, didn't let him get anywhere near the reporters.
Not surprised.
Yeah, that part's probably a lose for him. Like, there's no reason to talk. There's no reason to bring. Obviously, you're already bringing some eyes to the program with hiring him.
Yeah.
I would just say, obviously, it's going to be good drama because his documentary comes out in like 7 days.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have a good idea what went on. Maybe who knows? Allegedly, the high school stuff. It is what high school's total different game. Good for him. He's got to go do something. He's got to move on. It'll be. The team he's going to coach for was like 1-8 the past 2 or 3 years. So
yeah,
so maybe he can help change the football program there.
Yeah, and I think they have a first-year head coach too. Maybe
they do. Yes.
Yeah. But how crazy would it be to be one of those kids and all of a sudden you're this guy you've heard about, who's been all over the media, this guy Connor Stalions, and all of a sudden he's your defensive coordinator, and then by the way, you get to sit at home after practice one night and watch this documentary about him. That would be so weird as a player.
It's probably cool for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. All right. Well, hey, speaking of football, last thing, let's get to NFC East. We're doing today NFC East predictions. NFC East features the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington Commanders, and the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like this league is like just every game is a rivalry in this league, no matter who's playing each other. The Giants-Eagles rivalry. Giants-Cowboys is a rivalry. Eagles Cowboys is a rivalry. Commanders Giants is a rivalry. Commanders Eagles is a rivalry. Every game, every matchup in this league is a rivalry. It's a great league with a ton of tradition, classic teams. But overall, I feel like this league just underachieves year after year after year. Granted, since 1990, I think they do have like 8 Super Bowls. So about 25% of the time, 25% of the time since 1990, they have won the Super Bowl. But I feel like there's some hype, around a couple of these teams every year, especially the Dallas Cowboys. And they just underachieve year after year after year. I don't know who wants to start. Who wants to give their prediction for the NFC East?
I'll go.
Okay.
All right, Trent.
I think the Eagles are going to win the league.
Yeah.
Who'd they add as running back?
Saquon
Barkley, who moved over from NFC East opponent, New York Giants.
Yeah, so give me the Eagles. I think they'll have a good year. They should be pretty good. And then give me the Cowboys, I guess. Underachieving. They're very good at underachieving, and I think they'll do the same this year. Then give me the Commanders.
Okay.
We're going to go with the Commanders because they named the Daniels guy, the starter.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels.
He'll be all right. At least we'll see how that goes. But I just think that Daniel Jones and the Giants are no bueno.
Yeah.
And they are just not good ever. So, yeah, we're going to go with the Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants to hold it down.
All right, Big Mo.
Make it simple and easy. The Philadelphia Eagles run away with that division. I'm still not sure how they went 1-6 to finish the year last year.
Yeah,
because I think they have
forgot about that.
Yeah, they have a ton of pieces, and obviously now you're adding Barkley. So hopefully, I think they should be a tough out. I still don't know what happened last year. So, but I think they run away with the division. I think the Cowboys are just probably better than the two bottom teams, even though, they always underachieve. They always have a great or decent regular season, and then find a way to not play very well, hit the postseason. And then I'm going Giants and then Commanders. I don't think the Commanders have quite enough to probably win enough games to finish above the Giants. I think the Giants' defense is still pretty solid. Daniel Jones probably is an average quarterback and then doesn't have enough weapons to.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, I've been mulling over Cowboys or Eagles for first place. I do think the Cowboys, as long as CeeDee Lamb does resign or does sign, they can come up with a deal with him. I think they're going to be pretty good. And probably good enough to win the division, but I do think the Eagles just have a few more weapons. Their offense should be incredible. Adding Saquon Barkley, the receiving core is incredible. I think Jalen Hurts bounces back, and we see the Jalen Hurts we saw 2 years ago. And I do think the Eagles will win the division. Cowboys, second place, maybe a little bit closer, Big Mo, than what you're thinking. You're thinking the Eagles are going to run away with it. And then I'll go Commanders third. And then I just think the Giants are going to be absolutely horrible. Losing to Barkley. Daniel Jones is just not the guy.
Oh.
We may even see a little bit of Tommy DeVito again this year.
Dang.
But they're going to give Daniel Jones every last opportunity because they paid him so much money.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, and Giants.
All right.
All right. Anything we missed? Anything else, boys? We all good?
All good.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.